tell you God don't hate. That's not in the Bible. God hates.
Mm.
So all the things that the church tells you, they're going to tell you Jesus was born December 25th. You know how many different deities was born around that time? Because that's the winter solstice.
Right.
You got Saturnalia, that mistletoe, when you got Nimrod, I said the mistletoe, the Christmas tree. All of that existed before Christianity was ever there.
Right.
Even Islam, that rock that in that circle, that when they say they make their Hajj and they circle that rock in Mecca, that's a rock that they say is a meteor that fell from the sky that you got to circle 7 times and kiss it.
Right. And a lot of people know I talk about this rock all the time. They bow and pray to that is not from Earth. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's not from
What's
Earth.
the proof? That is not, you ever seen it?
They tested it. But here's the thing, they won't allow nobody to touch it. So right now, if you go
so
over
it could be like a meteor is what you're saying.
Man, it could be anything. They won't let nobody touch it. They won't let nobody examine it.
Right. So let's say if it's a meteor, we still ain't supposed to worship no damn meteor.
I don't think you do. But they think you do.
Yeah, they think you do. So when I mention the Bible and I say the pastors and them don't follow it, that's what I mean.
Right.
Even going to church on Sunday, that's not in the Bible to go to church on Sunday.
Right.
But you can find the people that worship the sun in the sky.
Right.
That's the compromise that they made. So now we go to church on Sunday so the people that worship the sun can worship their God the same way that they can worship their God.
Right. You said something. Let's take them back.
Okay.
You said something about Joseph and Mary.
Yeah, they had sex.
You saying Jesus was not born in immaculate conception?
Nah. You know what's crazy? Immaculate conception has nothing to do with Jesus. Immaculate conception it was made up by the Roman Catholic Church, where they say Mary was born sinless. That's what immaculate conception is. Virgin birth is where you're talking about Jesus.
But they kicked out the church because they thought she had sex, or for having sex.
That's what they say in the Bible, but that's not in the Bible. That's another lie.
Okay.
So in the Bible, it just simply says Joseph is the son, Jesus is the son of Joseph. It says it directly.
Right.
Mary says to Jesus, your father and I have sought thee sorrowing, talking about Joseph. I think Mary would know who Jesus' father is.
Right.
Jesus is called the son, Joseph is called the son of David. So is Jesus, because even the lineages belong to Joseph. They don't belong to Mary. When they want to create the dogma of Jesus being God, Jesus can't be God. They teach if he comes from a man, because they think, and it's crazy because they make it seem like sex is bad. That's why the Roman Catholic Church teach don't have sex unless it's with a little boy.
Right.
So like the priests can't get married, the nuns can't get married, but they're always having some type of evil ass sex, which lets you know they have a sexual desire. Why not just fulfill that desire?
Right.
So the Immaculate Conception is about Mary being sinless. The virgin birth is when they try to teach you that Mary never had sex. But in the Bible, a virgin is just a young woman, whether she had sex or not. So if a woman has sex at 17, she's still a virgin because she's young.
Right.
But if a woman never has sex at 40, you're not calling her a virgin because she's old now. That's what a virgin is in the Israelite culture.
Right. So
like one last thing, like you and I could never be virgins, because a virgin is also something that you become when a woman gets her cycle. When a woman gets her flower, that's when she becomes a virgin. Like in Luke 2:36 in the Bible, it says Anna married her husband 7 years from her virginity. Meaning 7 years from when she got her flower or her period, that's when she married her husband. So let's say if she got it at 13, 7 years, she's 20, that's when she married her husband.
Right.
So a girl is not even a virgin until they get their period.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So not having sex don't have nothing to do with it. It's just a cycle.
It's just a cycle. Because if, like I said, if you 40, like you and I, we could never be virgins. We could just be young men that never had sex.
Right. So why did they come up with the Immaculate Conception? Like why is it a thing? Why can't they just say, yo, Jesus' daddy is Joseph?
Because when you look at all the ancient cultures that surrounded Jerusalem at that time, the Greek goddesses had demigods, Roman goddesses had demigods. For those that don't know, a demigod is a god that has a human mother and a god father. And so as they're mixing with these other cultures, they make Jesus the same because they started pushing the narrative of Jesus as God. So as they're pushing Jesus as God, they say, well, how can be God if he got two human parents? Then they would say, no, Joseph was just a stepdaddy. God made Mary pregnant. That's what they'll try to tell
So
you.
they said that. So was Jesus God then?
No, Jesus said out of his own mouth in John 20th chapter 17th verse, he says, go to my brethren and tell them I go to my God and your God. I go to my Father and your Father. Jesus said out of his own mouth, he has a God.
Right. So why do people worship him as if he is God?
Because we want to believe in something that we can see. And it's easier to believe that Jesus is God, because then when it comes to the laws that God tell us to keep, we can break them, because the only person that can keep them was God.
Right. So did Jesus die for our sins?
Yes.
How?
Because when John 3:16, the scripture most people know, when it says, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, and whosoever believeth in him shall not perish and have everlasting life. That's only for the children of Israel. So that's not for like a white person, an African, a Chinese person. That's only for Israelite culture. So
hold up. So he only died for your sins?
Yeah. Well, he died for yours too, because you're
an
Israelite.
I'm not Israelite.
You definitely Israelite.
Well, I ain't got to that point yet.
Yeah, you might not have got to that point, but he died for the children of Israel. Like, you would represent the lost Israelite. That's what you represent.
I mean, I'm crazy.
No. Well, okay, yeah, you want to go with crazy too. That's fine.
No, I'm
but lost in a sense, like you don't have your identity that God gave you.
I'm just asking the question. So what about, right, if Jesus only died for the black people, that means
not black people, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Haitians. He died for other people.
Israelite is not a color.
No,
So explain that.
Yeah, so Israelites is not a color, because we get a lot of flack because Mexicans are Israelites, Dominicans are Israelites, Guatemalans, Haitians, Panamanians, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, so Native Indians, Seminole Indians, they're all Israelites.
It's like everything but the white people.
Africans not Israelites. Yeah, and when I'm saying Africans, so on the continent of Africa, you could have some Israelites on the continent. So from a biblical perspective, the ethnic Africans will be called Hamites in the Bible.
Right.
So when I'm saying Africans are not Israelites, I'm talking about the Hamites, because you got tribes like the Igbo tribe, Ashanti tribe. So you have some of those tribes that we are among. So those of us over there would be them. But Africans are not us.
Right.
Arabs are not us.
Right.
East Indians, Chinese,
right.
Japanese, Polynesians, Hawaiians, they're not us.
Ain't you African American?
Well, African American, Jesse Jackson made that shit up in the 80s.
Come on, what you mean? So ain't black people from Africa then? We
lived in the continent of Africa when we were stolen. That's true.
What do you mean stolen and lived in Africa? Everybody think we came from Africa.
No, when Israel fell as a state in 70 AD, Rome sacked Jerusalem, burned it to the ground, took all the gold and everything out of there. So you had Israelites that went into Europe, you had Israelites that went into Africa. So we lived in Africa among the tribes of Africa for thousands of years. Like, I want to say like maybe 13 to 1400 years before the slave trade started.
Right.
That's why you can see ancient maps that'll say land of Judah within the map.
Right.
And so when they came to catch slaves, it was one tribe selling another tribe. It wasn't one tribe selling their own tribe. So the European didn't come on the soil and catch us. That African, like that, what's that movie? Woman King is a good example.
Right.
The Dahomey tribe was one of the tribes that was catching us and then selling us. That's why you could look up on the names of slaves. You'll see Yah at the end of a lot of the names, because Yah represents the Most High's name. Like Jeremiah, they would have the Yah at the end of it. So they knew exactly who they were selling when we got over here. Right. Harriet Tubman is another example, because she kept the history of knowing she's an Israelite.
Right. So they sold us because they knew we wasn't part of the African.
Yeah. So when they had to find who to sell, because slavery.
Here's without audio effects.
Lately, I can't see. Slavery is not something that just black people went through. A lot of different people went through it. So when it came time to sell people, they knew exactly what tribe they was going to sell.
Right.
And they sold us.
Right. So why today do we compare ourselves to say that we African? Why don't nobody say, yo, I'm Israelite? Why?
Because we don't have that knowledge of self. Like Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So Africa is really all we know, because that's the boat we came off the west coast of Africa. When we came off the boats, they just gave us Africa. They spoon-fed Africa to our face. Jesse Jackson called us African American. So that's all we believe. but you will see pockets of history, the Denmark Vesey's, the F.S. Cherry, the Matthew Wentworth. You'll see throughout history of black men and women that knew that they were Israelites.
Right.
You'll see that. And then now it's getting more popular because more of our people are waking up to who we are.
Right. Why would they hide the fact that that don't sit right with me? Why would they hide the fact that someone is Israelite? What kind of power or what do you get from being Israelite?
Here's what other nations know about the children of Israel that spiritually will blow your mind, is that they know that if they keep us breaking the commandments, then the God that hates iniquity will not be on our side. But the day that we wake up to who we are and keep the commandments, that God will be on our side. So it's important to keep us unidentifiable to each other. That's why we've been black, colored, Afro-American, Negro, and African-American, and now FBA. All of those different identities keeps us from identifying who we are, because once we identify as an Israelite, you got to find out what you did to offend that God, obey that God, and then your life can change.
Right. That's crazy. Now we got that. In the beginning, we talked about the names, and he just said and described how we got the names, but he have been saying a lot of things. He have been mentioning different gods.
Right. No. Well, the God of Israel is one God.
But you saying like people got different gods?
Yeah, people do have different gods.
So explain that. How was there different gods? I thought it was only one God.
Yeah, for me, there's only one God.
Well, you said for you, but for the world, is it more than
I'm about to explain.
Okay.
So, like, for the world, you got a Muslim God.
Oh my God. But how many gods is it?
To me, it's only one God.
But you saying it's different gods. I'm confused.
Because I can't control people making fake gods. So I'll say it different. Anybody can create a God.
Right.
Like, what's the
money can
lunatic?
be God.
Yeah, money can be a God. Nature Boy made himself a God. He in jail. Nature Boy had them shitting in the grass and then walking on it, thinking that that's natural.
Rashad Jamal made himself a God.
Yeah, who's that?
He's in jail too as well.
Yeah.
They just put a documentary out on him, and they had me in the documentary. So I guess they think I'm the next one to go to jail. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anybody can make themselves a God. We make people God on habit. Michael Jordan.
I'm not God.
Yeah, I'm not either. Michael Jordan is made a God. You say anything against Michael Jordan, they will fight you to death. Michael Jackson made a God. That's how easy a God can be made. So back in the days, you had Egyptians had gods, Babylonians had gods, Palestinians had gods, East Indians had gods. The Muslims had a God for every day of the year.
You saying these humans?
Yeah, these are all humans.
So you're saying
every God, I'm gonna tell you, every God was a human being first.
What do you mean, a human being first?
Baal was a human being first. Nimrod, human being first. And they did something so great and powerful and was worshipped as a god that when they died, they became deified as a god. Baal became deified as a god because he farmed so well. That's why he was a weather god.
What do you mean, a weather god?
Meaning they prayed to Baal to have good weather for their crops to grow.
So he was a farmer and knew how to farm, and they made him a god.
They would farm like Baal, and they made him a god. That's how Baal became a god.
Right.
Nimrod became a god. Nimrod was a mighty hunter. Nimrod dies, he becomes a god. His wife say he didn't die. She jumped on his penis and birthed a son, and now this son is Nimrod reincarnated. None of that is true, but they believe it. Right. But all of them start from a human being. A human makes something famous into an idol.
So there's one God.
There's one God. That's the Most High.
So who is the God for the white folks then? If you're saying they're not having the same God that you have.
The God of the white folks.
Is it a human?
It's whoever they emulate.
No, I'm saying who is the God?
They don't have one. They reject God.
Who created them?
God recreated them. God. So now, okay, God created us all. When I'm saying that the other gods, so here's how it should be. Israel should be the #1 nation, and then all the other nations would be following us as we follow the one true God. So under that guise, there wouldn't be no Muslim God, Palestinian